IsReal News. These are the evening headlines for Tuesday, March 31st. The White House says President Donald Trump will deliver what it calls an important statement tomorrow on Iran. Tonight, Trump tells NBC News the war is nearing an end. At the same time, Iranian media reports a steel facility in Isfahan has been hit for the second time this week. In another sign of shifting U.S. posture, the Wall Street Journal reports the aircraft carrier George Bush is on its way from Norfolk to the Middle East. If it arrives, the United States could soon have 3 carriers in the region, though the voyage is expected to take weeks. Trump also made a series of sweeping claims about the battlefield. Speaking to reporters at the White House, he said the Iranian regime has effectively been replaced, said the nuclear threat has been neutralized, and said U.S. forces could leave the region within 2 to 3 weeks. He said the United States is now negotiating with what he called a new and more accessible leadership in Tehran. Trump also said Washington will no longer guarantee oil shipping routes in the Strait of Hormuz for other countries. He said if France, China, or others want to move oil and gas through the strait, they will have to protect themselves. In Tehran, President Masoud Pezeshkian and Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi are reported to have joined public demonstrations in support of the regime, even as Trump says the war is winding down. Israel says it continues to strike on multiple fronts. The military says it carried out 2 separate attacks in the Beirut area, targeting a senior Hezbollah commander and another senior operative. It also says the Air Force struck a research and development facility owned by a company called Tofik Daru, which it says systematically transferred chemical materials to the Iranian regime. According to the Israeli military, the facility served as a key supplier of fentanyl to the SPND organization, which it describes as being responsible for developing chemical weapons. Israel says precautions were taken before the strike to reduce harm to civilians. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, in a statement without reporters present and without taking questions, said Israel has made enormous gains, though he acknowledged painful losses. He said Iran can still threaten Israel, but no longer threaten its existence. Netanyahu said the Ayatollah regime invested nearly $1 trillion in military capabilities aimed at Israel and the wider region, and said that investment has now gone to waste. He said Israel has created the conditions for expanding alliances and the circle of peace, and said he hopes to speak in the future about new alliances. Opposition leader Yair Lapid responded sharply. He said Netanyahu once again delivered what he called a speech of arrogance, and argued the prime minister has failed to achieve a strategic decision despite the military's performance and the resilience of the Israeli public. Elsewhere in the region, Iraq says an American journalist has been kidnapped in Baghdad. The Interior Ministry says Shelley Kittleson was abducted by unknown gunmen, and security forces are searching for the vehicles used in the kidnapping. One suspect is reported to have been arrested. Kittleson has lived and worked in Baghdad for years and has reported for several international outlets. While no group has claimed responsibility, immediate suspicion is falling on pro-Iranian Shiite militias that have previously kidnapped foreigners for ransom. And in Europe, German Chancellor Friedrich Merz says he and Syria's president hope that about 80% of Syrians living in Germany will return to Syria within 3 years. Merz says the situation in Syria has changed fundamentally and that Germany should re-examine the need for protection. Those are the latest headlines from IsReal News.